Good morning, Year 9. Welcome to today's lesson on averages, part 2. Last lesson, we learned about mean, median, mode, and range. Today, we're going to learn about group tables and stem and leaf diagrams. Please make sure that you sit with a piece of paper and a pen so you could work out your solutions and take notes as this recorded session goes on. Right, we're going to start off with our 5 a day. So please press pause and have a go at the first question. Question 2. Question 3. Question 4. And the final question, which is question 5. Please press pause to answer all the questions and I'll go through the answers shortly. Okay, so question 1. Y squared minus 49, which equals to 0. We need to find what y equals to. So if we need to find what y equals to, we need to make sure we keep the y squared on the left hand side. And we simply move the 49 to the other side. And when we move the number to the other side, we need to change the sign. So that's going to be plus 49. So now we've got y squared equals 49. We can then square root y squared. And if we square root the left, we must square root the right hand side. So we need to square root both sides. So square root of y squared will be y. And square root of 49 will be plus and minus 7. Do not forget to put the plus and minus, because when you square root any number, it could give us two different numbers. For example, if I put minus 7 whole thing squared minus 49, that will also equal to 0. And if I put 7 squared minus 49, which also equal to 0. So there's two answers, plus 7 and minus 7. Question 2. Solve y squared plus 3y minus 10 equals 0. So how I would do this is I'll write this down again. Say 1y squared plus 3y minus 10 equals to 0. I'll then times this number by this number. So 1 times minus 10, which gives us minus 10. And then I'll choose any two multiples that makes plus 3. So there is minus 10 times 1, which doesn't make 3. There's plus 5 times minus 2, and that will make plus 3. So we could use these two values. So now I'm going to expand this equation. So it's going to be 1y squared plus 5y minus 2y minus 10 equals 0. So this will basically mean plus 3y. But I need to expand it. Now I need to factorize this box what goes into this. I'm going to factorize what goes into this. So I'm going to start off with the first bracket. So the factor that goes into both of these values is going to be y. So I'll take y outside the box, outside the brackets. So now I need to times y by something to get y squared, which is going to be y. I need to times y by something that will equal to 5y, which is going to be 5. For the next bracket, the common factor is going to be minus 2. So I need to use an open bracket right now. And then minus 2, to get to minus 2y, we need to times by y. And minus 2 to get to minus 10, we need to plus 5. So now, when we get to this part of the solution, we know that these are the same, so we could use this as a bracket, y plus 5, make that into a bracket. Now we could use the two values outside of the bracket and put that into a bracket, so y minus 2. This will be the answer for the question. And from this, if you want to find the values of y, we need to do y plus 5 equals 0 and y minus 2 equals 0. And to find y for the first answer, y will be simply minus 5, because we move the plus 5 to the other side, it becomes a minus. And we move the minus 2 to the other side, which will become plus 2. So we've got two values of y. Question 3. Find the size of angle y. So this is a right angle trigonometry question where we will need to use SOHCAHTOA. I like to write this like this so I know and I can imagine this triangle when I work out SOHCAHTOA. It makes it easier for me to work out what I need to use. So now I will identify what the hypotenuse is. So the hypotenuse is always the largest side, so this is going to be h. I would also know that this value is the opposite because it's opposite the angle, and this is the adjacent. So we are given two values, which is O and H, so we can work out using the SOH, which is the sine. So now we've got sine y, which equals to opposite, which is going to be 7 divided by 10. So we need to find out what y is by using our calculator. So we need to make sure we do sine inverse of 0.7, which gives us 44.427 degrees. Now we could simply put this into one decimal place. So we could write this as y equals to 44.4 degrees to one decimal place. Question 4. Represent the inequality x is greater than 2 on this number line. Okay, so we need to make sure we represent what x is greater than 2. We start off with by putting a circle on where 2 belongs. This circle is not shaded in, means it's greater than. If it was shaded in, it would be greater than equal to. Okay, so this question says x is greater than 2, so we just need to keep a circle. So we need to make sure we draw a line that follows x is greater than 2. So this represents the inequality x is greater than 2. Question 5. Write 0.0007 in standard form. Okay, so we need to make sure we write this in standard form. So we could write this as 7 times, and to get to the original answer we need to move 1, 2, 3, 4. So 10 to the power of minus 4. Okay, so now we've completed the 5 a day. We're going to go on to the actual lesson. So please write group data, and I want you to copy this example down. So, estimating the mean. An estimate for the mean can be obtained by assuming that each of the raw data values take the midpoint values of the interval in which it has been placed. Okay, so the example says, during 3 hours at Heathrow Airport, 55 aircrafts arrived late. The number of minutes they were late is shown in a group frequency table. So what we need to do, we need to find the midpoint first. So midpoint of the minutes late for the first one would be the middle value of 0 and 10, which is going to be 5. The second one will be 15, and so on. We'll get the midpoint values. The second part, we need to make sure that we times the frequency by the midpoint to find MP times F. So MP represents midpoint and F represents frequency. So we could get 27 times 5, which is 135. And we get so on. So 10 times 15, which is 150. 7 times 25, which is 175. 5 times 35, which is 175. 4 times 45, which is 180. And 2 times 55, which is 110. We now need to find the total amount of frequency. So the total amount of frequency is 55. So we've been given that as 55. And now we need to find the sigma fx. Okay, so this is going to be 925 if we add all of these values together. So now, when you find the mean, we need to make sure we do 925 divided by 55, which will give us 16.8 minutes. Okay, I hope you copied this table and make sure that you use this as an example. Okay, so this is the same question, but we need to find the median and the mode. Okay, so now we're going to look at the modal class. So the modal class is simply the class interval of the highest frequency. Okay, so we need to see which frequency is the highest, and we could all see that 0 to 10 minutes will be the answer. Okay, many of us tend to write the answer 27, which is incorrect. We need to write the modal class, which is 0 to 10. The median class interval. The median class interval is the class interval containing the median. Okay, so in this question, we need to make sure that we have the total number of frequency. The total number of frequency is 55. So what we need to do, we need to add 1. So 55 plus 1, which gives us 56. And then we divide this by 2. So that will give us 28. Okay, so the answer is not 28, but it's the 28th value on the table. So now we know that the first group is 27, and we need to get to 28th value. So we need to go 1 down. So 27 plus 10 is 37. So we know that the median is between this region. So the answer is 10 to 20. Stem and leaf. A stem and leaf diagram shows ordered discrete data. Each number is broken up into 2 parts. For example, you might split the number 23 into a stem of 2 and a leaf of 3. Your key would look like this. So the stem tells us how many tens and the leaf tells us how many units of each data value is. Okay, here is an example of a stem and leaf diagram. Okay, stem and leaf diagram is a good way to organize data into groups without losing any of the details. Okay, here's the age in years of 24 employees in an office. Okay, so on the side, there's a number which is 19. Okay, so that one represents a 10, which is going to be the stem. And that 9 represents the unit, which is going to be the leaf. Okay, so now I want you to try complete the stem and leaf before I reveal the answers. Okay, so use the example on the right to conduct all of the data in the question. Okay, so here's the answers of the question. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example. So if I choose this number represents 28. So the value 28. Okay, so if I was to choose another value, which is going to be this 4, that will represent 34. Okay, so all of these values here represent the data, which is going to be above. So now I would like you to copy down this example. Okay, this is a back-to-back stem and leaf diagram which compares 2 sets of results. Okay, the annual salaries of employees working in an ICT company are displayed in the back-to-back stem and leaf diagram. Okay, as you can see, the first thing in the question is the key. The key is very important, so it represents what the data is showing us. Okay, so from this question, we could find out the range for male. For example, this will be the lowest value and this will be the highest value. So we know that the highest value is going to be, for the male range, 38,000, and the lowest range will be 18,000. So the male range will give us £20,000. For the female, we know that the highest value is going to be 58,000 and the lowest range will be 19,000. So we minus those together. Remember, to work out the range is the highest value minus the lowest value. So 58,000 minus 19,000, which gives us 39,000. Okay? Okay, so whenever we work on a stem and leaf diagram, we must write the stem and leaf diagram in ascending order, meaning lowest to highest. To work out the median for males, we need to count the amount of males there are in the stem and leaf. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so to work out the median, we need to count them and then add 1 and divide it by 2. So 9 plus 1 is 10, and you divide by 2 is 5. So we've got the fifth value, which is going to be the median. Okay, so we need to cross up to the fifth value. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got the fifth value, which is going to be 29,000. So the median will be 29,000 for males. Okay, same thing for the females. So we do the same thing for the females. So there's 13 females. So we do 13 plus 1 and divide it by 2, which gives us the seventh value. So we count the seventh value. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we've got the seventh value, which is going to be 30,000. Okay? We can then conclude that female employee salaries have a larger range, but the median salaries of men and women are similar. Right. This is a question for you guys to do. So please write down the questions in your books and have a go at these. If you need any help, refer to your example. Okay, and I'll go over these questions shortly. The question says, the stem and leaf diagram shows the masses of the group of people in a lift. Okay, so the first question is, how many people are in the lift? What we need to do, we need to count all of these values, okay, to find how many people were in the lift. Okay, so if you count these up, we should get 10 people. Okay. Question B. What is the mass of the heaviest person in the lift? We all know that it's going to be the last value. So that value is going to be 89 kg. Okay. For question C, what is the range? We know that the highest value is 89 and the lowest value, which is 54. Okay, to work out the range, we need to minus the highest value by the lowest value. So it's going to be 89 minus 54, which will give us 35 kg. Question D. What is the median? So what we need to do, we need to count the numbers of people. So we got 10. Okay, and then we divide it by 2. So 10 divided by 2, which gives us 5. So it's the fifth value. So we count the fifth value 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the median is 70 kg. Moving on to question E. A safety notice in the lift reads maximum 12 persons, total weight 800 kg. Explain whether this group of people can travel in the lift safely. Okay, so we need to add up all of the 10 people's weights and see if it exceeds to 800 kg. If it doesn't, then they're allowed to use the lift together, and if it does, they are not. Okay, so moving on to the final question, which is question F. Calculate the mean mass of people in the lift. Okay, so for this question, we need to make sure we add up all the values, which is going to be 54 plus 63 plus 64 plus 67 plus 70 plus 72 plus 76 plus 78 plus 83 plus 89, which equals to 716. Okay, so now to find the mean mass, we need to divide 716 by 10 because there's 10 people, which gives us 71.6 kg. So that is the average mean mass of people in the lift. Okay. I am now going to give you a set of questions which will need to be done independently. Okay, so now I would like you to answer this exam style question. So please press pause and answer this question. Here are the answers to the questions. This is another set of questions I would like you to have a go at. So please press pause, get this done. Here's the answers of the questions. Okay, so now I would like you to have a go at this type of question. It's a real life question, so please have a go and try answer the question. Here's the answers for the question. So now this is the end of the pre-recorded lesson. I hope this session has helped you understand more about working on averages. If you require any help, please do not hesitate to email me on vpatel@sjc.ac. And most importantly, stay safe and work hard. Take care.